do you even know what you're healing? Because a lot of people can go and start these fasts and all of these different things that they hear on social media, but they haven't pinpoint an organ. They maybe have pinpoint a disease or a symptom or some other name that somebody came up with. But in reality, at the end of the day, everything that is wrong with your body is an organ problem. The organs keep the body organized. When one organ is down, the entire structure is starting to fall. So when we're able to pinpoint the organ, that is when the true healing can start. Now, in my philosophy, in my opinion, I know that it all stems from the gut. It all stems from the intestines because the intestines are what keeps your body running on a day-to-day basis. Most people think it is the heart or the brain or the liver even, when in reality it is the intestines. The intestines are the brains to your body. Okay? This brain up here is the conscious brain. This brain down here in the intestines is the subconscious or the autonomic or the automatic. So the intestines are going to be the brain that really you don't have to control. It's a brain. It controls itself. Okay, it has power on its own. It's the brain that's going to keep you alive when you are in a coma and this top brain right here is not working. Okay, so in my philosophy, I put a lot of emphasis on the intestines. Okay, because the intestines, if you didn't know, were the first organs to come about. We all started off as an anus. Yes, I know that sounds pretty wild to say, but we all started out from that hole that we excrete things from. Okay, and from there, all of our organs started to grow. That is important to know because it is the root of our tree. And for anybody who is a gardener or who takes care of plants or even has maybe killed some few house plants, they know that the roots are what keep the plant alive. Even if the foliage on the top isn't really alive, if it's falling back or browning. Okay, if you guys see a tree that has browning on its leaves, you're not just going to chop the leaf off and expect the tree to be healthy. Okay, you're going to go down into the root, into the subconscious, into the dirt, into where the sun don't shine. Okay, and so in my philosophy, when it comes to healing, the very first thing we look at, the very first thing that we include is going to be the intestines. Now, all diseases are not just I don't want to say the word diseases, but all the illnesses that we have out there isn't just the intestines. The intestines are just maybe the beginning, maybe the ones that started the domino effect, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. But I always like to get people to understand and really, focus on the intestines and their importance. Because without the intestines, you can be treating other organs, and it's just not going to go well for you. You're not going to fully get rid of whatever you have. Okay, so the intestines you always look at. When I say the intestines, I'm really talking about what are you consuming? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you putting into your mouth on a day-to-day basis? Okay, so it's more so just the intestines itself. When I say the intestines, I'm really asking people, hey, what are you putting into your body? So the intestines and what you're putting into your body is what we look at first. Okay. Second, I want to look at your emotions. I want to look at where your mind is at. This is how my mind goes. Whenever I get a client, okay, I'm gonna reveal it to you guys right here. Whenever I get a client, these are a couple things that I look at. What is your eating like? What are your eating habits? Do you eat late? Do you like to eat a lot of chips? What flavors do you crave the most? Because that can tell you some things that are wrong with your body. Every flavor has an affinity or a relationship with a certain organ or system of the body. So what flavors do you like? What textures do you like? Do you like the crunchy? Do you like the soft? Okay, that again gives more information on, trying to, what we're doing is really trying to pinpoint an organ or a set of organs that we can work on to bring back to balance, which will then in turn bring your body as a whole back into balance. Okay, so I'm asking about the foods. I'm asking, what are your emotions like? Are you a high anxiety individual? Do you deal with depression often or chronically? Are you a worrywart? Are you somebody who is very fearful? Are you somebody who's very jealous? Are you somebody who's very angry and has a lot of rage and anger? Because that can tell you something. Okay, so I'm trying to pinpoint what their kind of like emotional composition is like. So, again, for every emotion, there's an organ that links up to it. For every food, for every fruit, for every herb, for every, experience you have, whether it be traumatic or happy, there is an organ or a system in the body that has an affinity to it or a relationship to it. Okay, so I'm asking all of these different questions. What's your mental like? What's your environment like? What stress are you under? You know, what runs in the family? All these different types of things are gonna get you to pinpoint these organs, and that's really what we're trying to do. That's what I do in my philosophy, how I view healing, how I heal the body and help others heal their bodies. So, with after all of these questions, I'm able to pinpoint everything. If we need to go deeper, I'm asking for the history, or I'm asking for the diagnosis they received, or I'm looking at their skin or their hair texture, and if they have thinning, if they have balding. I'm looking at a bunch of different things, okay, to pinpoint these organs. But that is how you can confidently start healing. When you pinpoint those organs and you know exactly where to go, you know exactly what to deal with, you know exactly which herbs and their actions deal with the organs that you have issues with. Okay? Every herb has an affinity or a relationship, and I'm repeating this because I want you guys to really understand this. And I want you guys to understand the connection between everything in the world and in this universe. Okay, every herb has a certain action or certain actions in the body, whether it be, for example, something like an astringent herb. Astringent meaning it tightens. Perfect example is when you bite into a lemon. It's going to kind of pull your face back. It's going to be doing the same thing inside your body. Okay, it's going to be pulling tissues, maybe pulling the intestinal wall, tightening it after an ulcer, or maybe pulling waste, okay, or drawing in blood, right? There's different actions that herbs have. Another one is, something like a soothing herb would be something full of mucilage. Mucilage being very mucousy. You can kind of hear it in the name already. Very mucousy, very gelatinous, very slimy, but also very soothing to the touch, especially for things like those ulcers or burns inside or outside of the body. So whenever you find the organ that you are dealing with, find out what needs to be done to that organ, what action does it need. So if it's sluggish, then it needs something to stimulate. If it's overactive, it needs something to calm and relax. If it's inflamed, it needs something to soothe it. If it's too cold, it needs something to warm it up. You see what I'm saying? So, once you pinpoint the organ, and you pinpoint what action the organ needs, what state the organ is in, then you go after the herbs. And this is why learning about the herbs and their actions and learning about herbalism is so important, because this is the tool that you have that is going to, give you all the power in the world to heal yourself. You don't need to go to other people for their tools. Now, if you want to go support other herbalists, that is great. Okay? But you don't always have to, especially if you're someone who's very passionate about healing. You want to pick up some of these books. You want to pick up, some of these courses. You want to Watch through our videos. We give a bunch of gems as well. Set consultations with people. Go to your local herbalists, your local apothecaries, and find out who the local herbalists are. Go on local herb walks and things like that, because everybody, every family needs an herbalist in the family. Okay, every family needs either a dedicated herbalist they go to, like their dedicated doctor, or dedicated dental, or whatever that they go to, or you need an actual herbalist inside of the family. Okay, we need it. All right, because we are at a stage in this society, a stage in capitalism, a stage in this colonialism where we cannot, in my personal opinion, we never were able to trust them, but we're in a stage where we cannot trust the systems that are oppressing us. Okay? And if we are going the Western medical route, I'm not here to bash them. That is not what I do. I stick to my lane. Okay? But the reality is, we have gone too far. Okay? And we cannot trust systems that are oppressing us, bankrupting us, poisoning us to heal us as well. So take the power back into your own hands. Learn the power of self-diagnosis, which means that you are just pinpointing where the problem is. We don't have to use these names that they invent. Wink, wink. Okay, but I don't want to say it. We don't have to use these names that they invent. We can find that problem in ourselves. Okay, by vetting certain things like our emotional state, our mental state, our spiritual health, and different aches and pains. Once you find that out, and then you learn herbalism, you learn or you find the trusted herbalists. With those two together, you can heal yourself and you can help heal others as well. Okay? I hope this video inspires you to do that. I hope this video inspires you to maybe take a little more time to dive deeper into herbs and really understand them, or take a little bit more time and dive deep into the body and really understand it. Okay? Because once you do, you have all the power back into your hands. If you are someone who needs help with that, you want to find a teacher who is dedicated, who has a track record, who you trust, go over to our website. Go over to our online academy and check us out. Read into us. Life in Nature Academy is my own personal academy where we give lessons, we do live calls, we have a private Facebook group. You can ask all the questions you want. And it's a very educational, very beautiful, very connected community. Okay, that is going to be at the link in the description. If you want to check out our herbal products or herbal formulas, that will be the link in the description as well. And if you made it this far, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and look forward to more videos like this, educating you and empowering you.